Hello everyone, welcome back to Next Gen Competition. We are here at the Daytona International Speedway for round 7 of season 6 here in NASCAR GT, the F1 100. The drivers are just now getting ready for today's event, and will start in a few moments' time. It will be the first race of the season around the Daytona Speedway, and the second ever race to take place in NASCAR GT on the famed high, steep banks of the Daytona International Speedway. A track with a long history in real-life NASCAR, of course. The track that holds the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. And today, we'll be holding the F1 100, in today's event. So I hope you're all excited for it. Should be another exciting event. Anyone could win it, and when I say that, I mean it. Anyone could win it today. So, it's nearly time to start. I'll let these drivers prepare and start their formation lap, and then we will go racing here at what is an amazing racetrack. There'll be drama, there'll be crashes, there'll be overtakes, there'll be a bit of everything here today, so don't go anywhere. At times you might think, oh, it's a bit dull, not much is happening, but believe me, it won't stay that way. It'll all perhaps get a bit chaotic towards the end, but it'll be good chaos, I think. Very different sort of race to what we saw last week out in Watkins Glen, but that was a real race of just racecraft, whereas here it's going to be about working the slipstream. It's about being in the right place at the right time, not making mistakes. That's what's going to be crucial here today. So I hope you're all as excited as I am for this race, and as I said, anyone could win it. We could have huge playoff implications today if someone who's perhaps not a favourite to make the playoffs wins today. They're locked in. They can't be knocked out. That is a playoff space going to someone that you perhaps wouldn't expect, and immediately the whole point situation changes. So it really is an amazing race to watch, and at times it might be a little bit dull, but sometimes it'll display just why we love this racetrack. As the field is now getting up into formation. 14 cars racing today, one away from a full field. Let's get everything up, and we'll let them know that it will be green this time, perhaps unsurprisingly. The two Phoenix Motorsport cars on the front row for the, I've lost count amount of times so far this season these two have been up front. Aston Lewis, the championship leader on points and the driver with the most wins so far this season, will start on the pole. His teammate Adam Richardson, the driver with the with second in the Drivers' Championship at the moment, yet to win so far this season though. He'll be starting alongside him. The two teammates have been very strong all season long. There's no reason to suggest that they can't do something similar here today. Behind them in the second row, they have Matt Pulio and Scott Sandover, with Seb Mills and Tyler Davison lining up in the third row. Tyler Davison, the only other driver other than Aston to win so far this season, and he has 2 wins. Behind them, you'll see 3 Jonathan Mills Racing drivers lined up in a row. We're getting ready now to start the F1 100. The cars making their way towards the start-finish line now, and we are green flag racing in the F1 100, and it's a great jump from Aston Lewis, who immediately gets out front of the field. It's Adam Richardson in second, and Matt Pulio right in behind him, looking to take that third position away. Sandover drops back off the start, and immediately you'll see the field fan out briefly and then get back into line. They'll dart, they'll duck, they'll try and find a space they can slot themselves in. They want to have the slipstream, they want to make overtakes. It's the balancing act that is so hard to counter and to decide what exactly to do. Matt Pulio here, he's in line. Will he go for the low side? Will he go for the lane? Splits the lanes. That's risky there from him. Sandover behind, Sandover almost onto the apron, he is onto the apron. This could be close to carnage here, as you see the sparks fly, the cars slide. Will they all make it out? No, around Matt Pulio. Has he collected other cars as well? He's dropping down the field. Has anyone else been taken down? That Chloe Glennon's got through. I think, for the most part, that is just the one car involved in that spin. Drama already in this race. Matt Pulio drops to the back of the field. As the field now makes their way onto the second lap of the race. And you can see, these guys are racing hard, the sparks fly, nearly contact between the two Jonathan Mills Racing cars, and that is one of them around. Who is it? I think that's Jono, I can't tell, the lag is making it quite bad, and he is. Jonathan Mills is off, and that will bring out the first caution of today's race. Drama early on in this one, and the field will slow down. It is Sandover who leads this race so far. Aston Lewis has dropped down to 7th, made that 6th now. He's had some problems in this race so far. And the field now will begin to line up. I hope. Have I said caution? Let's check. I definitely did, and I've said it again now. And they are now getting into position. A couple of cars off at the back, Jennifer Mills and Nat Pulio. Two drivers with problems so far in this race. Two drivers who have had spins. Elmer Salo's having some problems on the safety car. Then you got Chloe Glenn, and she was the other driver who was caught up in those wrecks. She was caught up in that first and didn't spin, but lost sufficient time to be counted. In the field now, just lining up, getting ready for the restart, which will be at the end of this lap. So we'll let them know that, so they have plenty of time to prepare for the restart. Let them know green this time. And now up at the front, Sandover, Richardson on the front row. In the top five, all of them yet to win so far this season. This is what I mean when I say we could see some surprises today. Keep your eyes peeled all over the field, and even if we don't see a surprise winner, this is a track where we could see a driver, perhaps like, I don't know, Kieran Kevan, driver currently below the cut line on points, have a really good points day, get lots and lots of points because you're able to consistently run in the lead group and point his way much closer to being in the playoffs, and that could make a big difference as well. This is a race that is crucial for a lot of people's seasons. One of the few speedway races we have. The only true super speedway race, of course we have Blooming with similar attributes. But here we are at the Daytona International Speedway, getting ready to go back to racing. They make their way off of turn 4 now. Slowly creeping towards the start-finish line now. Sandover and Richardson on the front row. And we are back to racing speed here. Green flags back out. Sandover, just like Lewis on the first start. Good jump there. And it's Seb Mills immediately up into second place with Ben Driscoll in third position there. In the 36 car, he looks to the inside. He's up into second on the inside road. A little bit of bumping, a little bit of barging as they go through the first corner here at full speed. They bang doors as they go through the banked curves. Driscoll right on the back of the number 23 car that leads this race. He's looking to make a move. He goes for it, but he makes a mistake. There was contact there. A massive save from Ben Driscoll. How on earth has he held on that one? Brilliant driving there from the young Briton. He holds on. He loses positions, but he's still in this fight as the field spark their way through here. 3 wide there. Multiple cars involved in that one. As we look to the front of the field, no, Sandover, the lead is around, across the front of the field. Is he the only one caught up in that? Surely not, there is another. It's Elmer Salo who's caught up in that one as well. Kieran Kevan's also been caught up, and that is a caution here. On lap 5 of the race, the caution is back out here, and it's Seb Mills in the lead of the race, ahead of Aston Lewis and Tyler Davison, the 2 winners so far this season in 2nd and 3rd. They have made up ground already in this one, looking like it could well be a strong day for the winners we've had already. They're down the back straight now. Ready for Kieran Kevan to reel back into the pack. Seb Mills, 2-time NASCAR GT champion. Hoping maybe he can be the first ever 3-time champion here at the end of this season. He's going to probably need to win some races to get himself into that Final 4, yet to win so far. Now whilst Aston Lewis and Tyler Davison have been the 2 dominant cars all season long, in theory there's 2 other free spots in that Final 4. Seb Mills has missed a couple of races, and overall will need to put in some work to keep him going in this championship fight. He's still very much in the playoffs, but a win would boost him, not only now, but the playoff points you'd get for a win would give him a much better chance of progressing through the playoffs. So 2-time champ Seb Mills in the 4 for Fast Formula Racing will bring them back to green with Aston Lewis and the Phoenix Motorsports number 11 on the outside. 5 laps remain. Make that 4 at the end of this one. 4 laps remain in stage 1 here. In the Bar F1 100, we are back to racing speed here. Green flags in the air and another good jump by the leader, Seb Mills. Pulling away already. Tyler Davison on the inside trying to make something happen here as they fly past the camera here. The field making their way past at incredibly high speeds. These Chevrolet Corvette Group 3 cars used to more traditional road racing, but here on the big banks of Daytona they are certainly putting on a show for us so far. The top 4 nose to tail looking to try and make a way past this race leader. Need to try and look elsewhere. But Tyler Davison in the 57 car currently happy on the rear bumper of Seb Mills, pushing him along as they head into turn 3 here. Look at the speeds climb as they make their way onto the banking once again. Seb Mills leads ahead of Tyler Davison. There's a car on the apron in the background. That looks like Nathan Marriott, and he's down below the apron again. And oh no, he's been reset to track because he went below the apron, and that will drop him back. And that is the first car with problems so far in this one. But Seb Mills still out front here. Ahead of Tyler Davison, he just needs to hug on to that inside line. Cannot let anyone peek inside because, you know, when the field's lined up like it is at the moment, if you let someone inside of you, that's right. It'll change the door with contact in the background. Who? It's George Hassard. George Hassard around there. Will he be collected? No, he's on his own. The only car caught up in that one. Looks like some sort of drama there for him, as Aston Lewis is down in 10th place here. This is not going well for him so far. As we look up to the front, these guys are pushing hard. They don't want to lift. They are pushing the limits of these race cars. They're fanning out through the corners, looking to try and make a way past. Look at this. They're racing through the banking now. There'll be 2 laps left at the end of this one, until the end of stage 1. Crucial playoff point will be gifted to the winner of this first stage, as there always is. A playoff point that will become very important as we get later into this season. Seb Mills continuing to lead. 2 laps remain in stage 1 here in the Bra F1. 100. It's the 4 ahead of the 57, ahead of the 45 out front. On contact. That's Turnbaker around. He saves it though. Oh, but he's into the wall. Overcorrects it. Back down the racetrack. Collected by Sandover. But the field keeps going here. We're too late to have a caution in this stage. As we now look, that's Driscoll to the inside of Glennon. Backs out of it. Glennon not having a good run so far in the 44 car. Running in third place. Teammates to the 4 out front. Might well try and work with him. Let's look at this group. Tyler Davison is not letting go of that rear bumper. As we see side-by-side racing there, that's Driscoll below the apron. Another car, I believe that's one of the JMR cars, goes below the apron as well in the background. Davison's been forced out of line. That's going to give an opportunity to lots more drivers as there is now. 1 lap remaining in stage 1 here. It's Seb Mills who leads the way ahead of Ben Driscoll and then Matt Pulio. He's up into 3rd now as well. Driscoll just looking for an opportunity here. It's hard to know when the right time to go is. There's contact! Drama, Driscoll out of line. He goes back into it. That knocks Pulio back down the order as well. Seb Mills continuing to hold himself out front here as Driscoll is on his rear bumper. Glennon bit on his as well. They make their way through. Turns 3 and 4 now. Glennon, will she look to try and make the move? Davison, will he go with her? What about Richardson as they come through turn 4 here for the final time in stage 1? Glennon's pushed high. She stays there. Driscoll goes to the outside. Seb Mills trying to hold on here, blocking off all of the cars as they head across the line. It's Seb Mills who will take victory in stage 1 for Fast Formula Racing ahead of Ben Driscoll, Tyler Davison, Chloe Glennon, and Adam Richardson rounds out the top 5, the stage points finishing positions in stage 1 here. It's a good stage for these drivers. But up at the front, Seb Mills in control so far here today. Dominating those late stages, has managed to block off all the runs that they attempted to get on him. And in the end it worked. And he will win stage 1 here today. But we saw lots of drama, lots of action, and lots of contenders here today. So who knows what might well be ahead of us here. Give all the drivers now a chance to save the replay of that first stage whilst we go and change the event settings. And also get slightly later into the night. Drivers now just preparing for stage 2. We're hearing now that there might be some connection difficulties for Kieran's internet. Lots of drivers reporting there is some problems there. So we're going to have to ask Kieran to leave. So there'll be a slightly longer than usual delay here between the first two stages. Sorry about this brief delay, folks. It sounds like Kieran will take the decision to spectate instead of racing here, so he's still involved, but won't be driving due to his internet connectivity issues. So now we are ready to start up the next stage of the race. So here we are now, getting ready for the second stage of the F1 100. Should be an exciting race. Stage 1, full of drama already, multiple cautions, multiple crashes. Who's to say we won't see more of the same here? Hopefully not too many more crashes than cautions, of course. I don't want to see too much of that. But at the same time, we want to see these drivers pushing them. We want to see these guys hard racing. And if you know, if that leads to some incidents, that's how that happens sometimes. But equally, if we can have a race here today that is nice and clean, but also good spectacle, then that would be the perfect situation. See the cars just getting ready now. It looks like they are. And yes, indeed they are. So we will be green this time. A very long track here, 2.5 miles. Also made to look shorter than it is because it's flat out when you're racing speed under caution speed. This is one of the painfully long laps of the season. But yes, 7 mils up front, Ben Driscoll on his outside, Tyler Davison and Chloe Lennon behind. We'll hit this moment to have a look at the paint schemes as we make our way down the back straight of the top drivers here in this race. Here you see Seb Mills' new paint scheme, the DC Solar scheme, inspired by a real-life Kyle Larson paint scheme from the real world of NASCAR. Then we have a very nice Teenage Cancer Trust paint scheme here from Ben Driscoll. And also in partnership with them is going to be hosting a 24-hour race over in December, I believe. So do go over and check them out on Instagram. Make sure you've seen them. A very good cause and overall very nice. Tyler Davison running a traditional Great British paint scheme. No reward for guessing which country he's from. Then we have Chloe Lennon in fourth here running the Class Formula Racing traditional paint scheme with her accent colour of purple. And right out the top 5 we have Adam Richardson in that traditional Phoenix Motorsports green and black Chevrolet number 7. We're getting ready to go back to racing now though. It's Seb Mills out front, Ben Driscoll alongside him on the front row. They make their way towards the line. And we are back to your racing speed here in the F1 100. Seb Mills with a good jump over the field. Across the line he goes. Ben Driscoll slots down into second place there. The 36 are looking to try and finish one position higher than he did in that first stage. Not going to be easy though. The field already pushing hard as they make their way through the banking for the first time here in stage 2. The field single filed out, but getting ready for some racing as they make their way down towards the backstretch. Already Driscoll forced out of the line, gets back in though. That's a bit of luck from him there. Often if you get shuffled out, you'll find yourself stuck out there, no way back in. But luckily, he got back in just in the nick of time and will maintain that second position to Tyler Davison. But this time he goes a bit higher, and again he holds on. He's really testing the limits there of the drivers around him. The fact that he's still in that position as this line makes their way to complete the first lap of stage 2 here. Seb Mills continues to lead with a little bit of contact. Tyler Davison's been forced up high now. There's cars going with him. The field splits into 2 rows. Davison on the outside. Seb Mills on the inside. 2 rows trying to make up some ground in this one now. Seb Mills is clear that outside line, trying to make something happen here. That bump draft, they might need a little bit more work here to try and break even with that inside line that is pulling away now as they head their way down the back stretch. Seb Mills continues to lead here ahead of Ben Driscoll and Adam Richardson in that third position. Chloe Glennon just in behind those, and that attempted outside line has not been successful. Tyler Davison drops back down into 5th place, but could have been a lot worse if he had been shuffled out on his own. Is now speaking of shuffled out, Ben Driscoll's to the high side, and this time no one goes with him. No one will go to the outside, or a couple of cars here. Might just be a saviour, but no, he finds his way into the inside just in time here. Got a couple of cars here making it too wide in the background. Aston Lewis and Scott Sandoval giving it a go there, but it's not going to work out this time as they try and make their way up the order here. You have to take some risks to make moves, and Chloe Glennon to the high side. Will she have anyone work with her as they make their way down the back straight? You see here, great camera angle. Oh, there's contact. She comes down into the path of George Hassart. George Hassart not taking any of that though. He wants to get every last position he can, and he gets up into 5th position now. The driver currently below the playoff cut line just by a few points though. He could still be in there. Oh, it's contact around Richardson in front of the field. That's a big wreck here if they come off of the banking of turn 4. Cars all over the racetrack. Drama as let's see who survived it. It's Seb Mills up front, but at the back of the field, Davison, Richardson and several others caught up in this one. But only 2 drivers, by some miracle, have been completely removed from the pack with it. Drama already in this stage, but Seb Mills holds on to lead out front. A big wreck in the pack, but they somehow survive. But this could be a bit of energy the field doesn't need, but perhaps will add to the racing as they head their way down the back straight. You see Sandover in second behind Mills. He's made a lot of ground after that big wreck in front of him. And George Hassard as well making some moves up the order. He's now in 3rd place. Driscoll just behind him in the 36 car. You'll see there that sort of metallic light blue bumping the way. Oh, that's Glennon. Glennon's gone, has she? Has she held onto it just by the barest of margins? But there's that Ellery gone now as well. Ellery loses a lot of ground. He's dropped off the pack, but they've all somehow survived here. Up at the front, Seb Mills continues on, but look here, the break in the pack. And indeed, a second gap here from Lewis to Glennon. The field beginning to break apart with these incidents. Incidents they can't afford here, as you see. Julio and Lewis just on the back of this group as they make their way down the back straight. Mills continues to lead. He is in control of this race. No one to worry about just yet as we see Hassart and Driscoll side by side down the back straight. Hassart banging doors there. Driscoll forced a little bit high. Julio looking to try and make a way in there. Julio on the outside now. That's going to end in bad tears. Surely contact. He's just all over the back of the car there. The Zero Quality Racing driver still sitting in 3rd place. As we see Driscoll, he goes to the outside of Julio. Lewis going to try and find his way past the pair of them, but can't quite. He slots into that position. Has got a slow car on the back straight by the look of things. Is that Davison? It is indeed Davison here. Going slowly on the back straight, but we look up at the front. Sandover and Mills. Mills just holding on out front still. Sandover looking to try and find somewhere to go. Needing to find that crucial 1 position here. The 23 pushing the 4 down the back stretch. 5 laps remain in this stage at the end of this one. Mills continuing to control this stage. We're already 1 car away from a caution. We had a couple of big incidents in this stage so far. A couple of the drivers dropping back from the pack. But now you see there, got a couple of teammates who are working together at the back of this group. I believe that's John O'Mill and perhaps Rick Turnbake. 2 JMR Racing drivers. Actually, that's a mistake there. It shouldn't be JMR Racing because the R in JMR stands for racing, so that doesn't make sense. But the JMR drivers, they're working together with Aston Lewis just ahead of them. Sandover on the back of Mills, just looking at his options there. Having a sort of gaze up on the high side to see if there is anything going. But at the moment, I think he sees the best opportunity in this race so far is going to be to stick to that rear bumper of Seb Mills. Field power past there. He's got side-by-side action just further back in this group. The outside line trying to form, and often the outside line, it's a harder line to form because, for starters, you're going to have the bravery to get out there. You've got to have the bravery the belief in the drivers around you that the outside line's going to work. But equally, you need the numbers. Of course, as Sandover now jumps up and he's going to lead that group, and that will now give the outside line the numbers that they need. Also, with the outside line, though, it's like I'm about to probably be proved wrong as they pull out front, and Sandover is going to drop down in front of them. Julio as well gets to the inside. Now it's a race to the inside line. The outside line empties, and it's Sandover. Julio, Mills drops down to third place here as they push their way down the back straight. Julio looks to the inside of Sandover, not making anything happen there. Lewis still on that outside line. He did all the work to get that outside line working with the two Jonathan Mills racing drivers behind them. Didn't work out in the end as Driscoll now is ahead of them. So the car going a lap down just in front of them there. So they make their way through the bank and they're still racing hard here. But the thing is with that outside line, oh, there's contact! That's the George Hassart and several others caught up in an incident. But it's too late in this stage to have any caution. 3 laps remain. It's too late in the stage to have a caution now. Sadly for those drivers, it's too late. In 3 full laps of race, you do have a caution. Now, that has led to a 3-car breakaway out front. Sandover leads Julio and Mills. Mills and Julio, crucially, are teammates. This could be the difference in this one. Will the 2 fast Formula Racing drivers work together here and try and seal the stage win? Or will they work with Sandover to ensure the 1-2-3 for those 3 drivers? Julio all over the rear bumper there of Sandover. Julio looks to the high side, Mills looks to the high side as well, just looking, weighing up their options, as I said earlier, trying to find any space they can find here. The top 3 looking for that crucial stage win behind them. Aston Lewis in a bit of a land of his own here, and George Hassart as well, just leading this little group of 3 cars in the battle for the final stage point from stage 2 here. But up at the front, these 3 drivers continue to lead the way. It's calmed down a little bit now, perhaps a needed break for these drivers to relax a little bit, while still having to drive at 180 miles per hour. I suppose this is as relaxed as you can get as they bump their way down the backstretch. A lap and a half remain. You can see this top 3 on the minimap in the top right have broken away from all those drivers behind because of those incidents that happened. Julio glued to the back of Sandover's rear bumper. They're going to have to lift off and try and make something work here if they want to take the lead. Wondering why would you have to lift off to try and take the lead? You have to sort of back up, build a bit of a gap between you and the car ahead, and then use that gap to build up the momentum to then carry past them. As Julio is in the slipstream here of Sandover, he's still probably a bit too close here. He's going to have to rely on Seb Mills, his teammates' help, to make something happen. He's looking to that inside line. Mills on the back of him. Julio looks up to the high side. Maybe he's going to try and fake a move to the high side and then go down low. That's another opportunity these drivers may well take. It's Julio to the outside line. He gets there. They bang wheels. Julio, what a great move. He leads now as Seb Mills maintains that 3rd place. But Julio will take the lead of stage 2 here. Sandover right in behind him, looking to try and take it back. Would Seb Mills work with him? Sandover looks to the inside. Mills goes to his outside. They're going to be side by side, and Sandover looks like he's just going to hold on here to 2nd place. Will he have a chance to take the lead away as they come to the checkered flag? It's Julio, and then it's Sandover by 4 milliseconds who will get 2nd place in this stage. In 4th, it'll be just by the barest of margins. It is George Hassart and Aston Lewis who will take the final stage point here in stage 2 of the Bar F1 100. What an exciting stage that was indeed. Really is a contrast to last week where we saw Watkins Glen, great wheel-to-wheel action, real racecraft here, working the draft. Just as much, I suppose it still comes under racecraft, but a completely different racecraft. But you might see some similarities to those up front here in this race. It's Julio, Matt Julio, for Fast Formula Racing, that wins stage 2. Give these drivers a chance now to save their replays and get ready, prepare, take a breather, have a drink perhaps, and then get ready for the final stage, which will take place at midnight here. Under the light. We've already been under the lights for the whole race, but now we're going to really need the lights as it will be pitch black, I'm sure, over this great racetrack. Hopefully that's enough time for them to save the replay. And now we'll get ready for stage 3. The stage that matters. Of course, all of the stages matter, but this one, the one that matters most. This is the overall race. This is the one that decides who finishes in first place, who locks themselves into the playoffs, or will we see a repeat winner here today? The drivers just getting into their cars, preparing for the final stage of the day. Who will be victorious in the Bar F1 100? Please leave your predictions down in the comments below if you have any, or if you're like me and have no idea who to pick, you could say that as well. What a race we've seen so far, and what a race we have ahead of us still. Is everyone in there? Let's have a quick look. They are indeed. Kieran Kevin still in spectate, all good. We can get ready then for the final stage. Now go and have a look at all the drivers on the racetrack. They're not quite over the line yet, so I have to exit still. Jono asking why there wasn't a caution on lap 9 or stage 2, and as I mentioned at the time, it was too late for a caution. You'd 3 full laps left, and of course 10, 11, 12 is 3 full laps, but the leader was coming to the line at the time, so to call it then would have been a risk, in my opinion, given the events that have happened recently in both Project IndyCar, well, mainly in Project IndyCar and the Indy 250, where there's a bit of drama around a late caution in that race. So, sort of try and leave a good sort of extra few seconds between when the message has to be sent and when it sort of actually is sent, if that makes sense. So I have to be on the right side because it's safer that way rather than risking it like I did in the Indy 250 and learned a valuable lesson. So yes, playing on the side of caution there, ironically so I suppose, pun not intended. We'll get everything up and ready, and we will let the drivers know we are green flag racing this time by. And now have a look at the liveries up the front now. It's Julio now in the NASA number 5 car who will lead them to the green, with Sandover in the Husky Chocolate 23. Funny F1 Racing in that second position. We've already seen Seb Mills, of course, earlier. Zero Quality Racing car of George Hassart. And just behind him we have Chloe Glenn, we saw her earlier, and Aston Lewis in that nice Nation Guard grey, sort of silvery grey, black and green Chevrolet there for Phoenix Motorsports. But we're getting ready now to go back to racing here in the F1 100. They're making their way towards the line now. Julio will lead the field. We are green flag racing once more here. Good jump there for Matt Julio, and the Bar F100 is back underway. The two fast Formula Racing cars on the inside line of the first 2 positions, trying to control this race. It's Aston Lewis immediately left into third here. Van Driscoll in fourth. The outside line did not have to start, it would have wanted to. Sandover drops from second down into 5th place, just ahead of George Hassart and Chloe Glenn in there in that 7th position. Then it comes Nathan Marriott, one of the newer drivers to the series, probably learning quite a lot of things in this race. It's a very different style to racing than, well, I imagine anything any of these newer drivers will have experienced previously. Look down the field here and the back. Tyler Davison, he's just over a second off the pack here. Looks like he may have had an issue on that start. But at the front, it is Matt Julio who will lead the first lap of stage 3. Ben Driscoll is up into second though. He's got ahead of Seb Mills. He jumps to the high side. Can he take the lead? He will. But will it be for long? No. He slots back into second place just by the tiniest of margins there. He'll get into that second place. Oh, there's a car on the wall. Glennon slides up the racetrack into the wall. Looks like she saved it. Although there was definitely some contact there. But the field went the way down the back straight. The thunderous roar of these cars. Chloe Glenn, another fast Formula Racing driver here up in this top group. Julio leading. Mills has dropped back a little bit. Zero Quality Racing's Nathan Marriott here up in 3rd place. We saw George Hassart for Zero Quality Racing making some good moves early on in this race. He slipped down just a little bit now. And now his teammate is taking the reins there. It's Phoenix Motorsports, number 7 car. Adam Rickson running in 4th place. second in the championship. He's having us a very quietly good season, brilliant season, arguably second in the championship. Really is a good season, I think, for him. So he's looking to try and return to the top step here today. See the field in a nice single file line down the back straight. Nathan Marriott goes to the outside. Oh, there's contact. Glennon turns up the straight. Polio's around. The race leader's around. There's contact. Several cars involved. Glennon is in the lead. What has happened here? Who has survived? Who hasn't? That's Nathan Marriott around. Several cars around here and problems for several drivers. I believe, just looking at it, who has dropped back? That's Nathan Marriott. We've got Sandover. And we've also got George Hassett here, all dropping back way out of the pack. So we are going to throw the caution here. I haven't seen all these drivers spin, but we've got a good group of cars here that have somehow dropped out of the pack. So yeah, we're going to throw the caution there. There must have been something that's happened here, perhaps caught up in that incident and lost time, or an early incident that was missed by the cameras. Either way, this group here of 3 cars have had some sort of problem. Of course, we know something happened today from Marriott. We witnessed it live. Had that big spin. And up at the front, Glennon leads Richardson there. Chloe Glennon looking for her first ever victory in NASCAR GT. She's had a lot of races in the series. The 44 car looking to go to victory lane. Although she's got some very fierce competition around her when you look at the grid we have here. Adam Richardson on the outside in the 7 Phoenix Motorsports. We are going to go green this time. And yeah, Ben Driscoll, another winner. Seb Mills, 2-time champion behind her. And we are now just getting ready. Chloe Glennon will put her foot down. We are back to green flag racing here. You see the bump drafts coming all around. Looks like Richardson is just about going to slot into second on the inside line. He will indeed, ahead of Seb Mills. Glennon leads, ahead of Richardson, and then Mills in 3rd place. Then comes Lewis in that 4th position, the number 11 car. With the 9 of Ellery Solo just behind him. Haven't seen much of Ellery so far in this race. Although now beginning to make up some spots, although as I say that, he drops up the slipstream and drops down the order. Can he find a space to get back in line? Looking to try and find that gap. See, this is the part of the race where we see the field single file out just a little bit. Just trying to find their footing, solidify themselves into a position. As you see, Ben Driscoll's gone out high there. What is he doing? He's dropping back quite a bit. He's lost a couple of places. Interesting there from him as Chloe Glennon bumped below the inside line there. And Seb Mills is going to go with Richardson to try and take the lead here. Richardson covers back down. He's now the leader of this race ahead of Chloe Glennon. With an outside line trying to form here. Seb Mills on the outside. Glennon back to the inside of Richardson. She's forced her way back in there. And she's in to the lead of the race once more. Turenbeek, another driver that needs a win to get into these playoffs. Looking to try and get a win here today. Got a lot of drivers here that are very much must-wins for the playoffs. Whether they've missed a lot of races, had some bad luck, or just perhaps not had the season they would have perhaps wanted to have. There's a lot of drivers up here in this league group that are looking for that must-win that they need to accomplish by the time the playoffs start in 4 races time. Glennon still leading on the inside, the outside line. Oh, contact around. Who's that? That's Aston Lewis, who's had a big slide and a big crash here. He spins through the pack. Let's see, is it just him involved? We've seen Sandover, he's dropped off the pack a little bit, but it's just Lewis who's been caught up in this one. As Glennon is back in the lead of this race, out of Turenbeek. 2 must-winners up at the front there. I must say, a very nice livery in that 2nd place. She probably should be doing the livery reviews mid-race, but I have to say, big fan of that scheme there on the 45 car, I believe that is, of Rick Turenbeek. Behind the 44, so it's 45 and 44 up at the front of this field. Then it's the 57, so the trend sort of gets ruined there. But yes, Tyler Davison there in 3rd place. One of the 2 drivers to win so far this season. Sitting in that position, looking to try and make something happen here. Seb Mills just behind. And it's Adam Richardson rounding out the top 5 with his teammate, Ellery Solo. You probably couldn't tell their teammates, those 2. Very different schemes. Usually Phoenix Motorsports have a fairly sort of similar paint schemes. But Ellery Solo very much going out in his own way here with the bright red car there. Unlike his 2 teammates who are very green paint schemes, I think it's fair to say. Ellery Solo looking to the outside there as we go back to the front of the field. This top 4 couldn't get much closer in this race now. Nose to tail. Glennon doing all she needs to do, holding that inside line. It sounds easier than it is. It really is. Trust me when I say that. You think, oh, it's just turning left, keeping it on the yellow line. What could be so hard about that? But when you're going 185 miles per hour, when you're getting bump drafts, when you're getting bumped forwards, when you're getting sort of knocked around, it is so hard just to hold that inside line. Something so tricky that looks so simple from the off-board. You see Seb Mills going to the high side here. Going with Richardson, trying to make something happen here on the outside. Not able to do much at the moment, but he's got a bump from Richardson. Going to come back down the racetrack though. Maybe just trying to build some momentum here. Although, as I say that, he immediately returns into that position just behind here as you see Turenbeek pushing Glennon here. These two drivers need a win. We are halfway through stage 3 at the end of this lap. Glennon being pushed out front here. These drivers, all these guys up at the front know what they need to do. We've got a couple of cars now actually slipping back. Actually, looking at this, we've got several cars that have dropped back out of this lead group. We've got Sandover, we've got Hassart, we've also got Driscoll, so we've got 4 cars at least that have dropped back. So I'm going to throw the caution here because I'm not sure what has happened to those drivers. I'm not sure there's been an incident that I've missed or something like that, so apologies if so. But with several drivers that are off the pack, we are going to throw the caution here. Not sure what quite has happened with these drivers, but several drivers that have, for whatever reason, lost touch with the pack. There must have been some sort of incident to have sort of drivers 10 seconds off the lead group. It would imply that there is something slightly off there. So we'll lean on the side of caution there, quite literally, and we will throw a caution. Glenn continuing to lead here. When we go back to racing, there'll be 8 laps remaining. 8 laps between all these drivers and the potential victory. The only driver to previously win on the oval here is Aston Lewis. Driver down the order at the moment as Ellen Marie has spun. But Aston Lewis down 12th at the moment. He is the only previous winner at this circuit in the 1 events we've held before. If I remember correctly, there's a lot of teamwork involved to get that win, so maybe we could see something similar here today. As we'll let the drivers know, we'll be green this time. Field heading down the back straight now. 8 laps remain. Glennon looking for her first victory. Turenbeek the same. Davison looking to take his 20th, a record-breaking 20th victory. Seb Mills, the 2-time champ, looking to add to his 6 wins. Richardson on the inside there in 5th. He wants to add to his list of wins as well. Ellery looking for his first. Same for Pulio. Same for Marriott. And so many more drivers in this field, but we don't have the time because we're about to go back racing here. Glennon and Turenbeek, 44 and 45, will bring us back to green flag racing in just a few moments' time. They come off the banking now. Alina chooses when they want to restart, and Chloe Glennon will go nice and early here and will put her foot to the floor. Glennon with a good jump over the field. She leads them across the line, but Turenbeek with a great reaction there. He's going to just almost slot into 2nd place, not quite able to do it. He's stuck on the outside now, and Turenbeek is going to fade down the order. Seb Mills is going to get past. Turenbeek just hoping and praying someone might help him out, but no one is. Turenbeek dropping down the field further and further and further. Heartbreaking stuff. The driver that restarted in the front row almost got too good of a restart, and he is going to drop back into 12th place here. But up front, Chloe Glennon, Tyler Davison are the top 2 drivers. Glennon leads this race. Davison looking to try and take that lead away. Mills to the outside, looking to try and make something happen. Richardson's been forced out high. Mills in this little pack of cars looking to try and take his first win of the season. Of course, everyone other than Davison and Lewis are looking to try and take their first wins of the season. Will we see a shock here today on the banks of Daytona? Oh, they've got a spinner. That's Ellen Marie Salo who's gone around. Ellen Marie Salo spinning down the front stretch. The problem here, as we look, Salo is out of the race, retired actually as well. So, problem there for him. See, Sandover has had issues as well, so we are at 2 cars. As we see, Side by side racing up at the front. Davison's taking the lead away from them. Glennon drops into second place, and we see, oh, Glennon below the white line. The yellow line, I should say, sorry. Glennon drops below it, but she holds on to second place. Three faster of the racing cars now lined up on this inside line. Could they make something happen? As we've got a wreck in the background, and that is going to bring out another caution here. Who is it? It's Richardson who's gone around, and the caution will come out here. Davison leads the field, and it's Glennon, Mills, Pulio in fifth there. Marriott's got up into fourth place. A new leader once again here. What has been an exciting race so far and could well continue to be just that way. Davison. Alfred has ordered a spinning car. Who's that? Is that Glennon that's gone around? Under caution, Glennon has spun around here. Gone board with her, and yes, indeed she is. She's down in the infield. Glennon, from a potentially winning position, spins down the order. And spins getting going again. Drama here, late in this race. That is one of the favourites after what we've witnessed so far. Dropping down the order. And there you see, Richardson goes past. Davison here. Will those two cars catch in time? I am not sure if they will. Actually, I am sure they will. We will go green this time. So they're just lining up into their positions now. Davison will start on the front row. Marriott looking for his first victory. Trying to make something happen here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. They make their way towards the start-finish line. Green flag's back out and we are racing again. In the bar F1 100, 2-0 quality racing cars lined up on the outside immediately. Hassart down to the inside. Marriott going to try and make his way in as well here. But he's going to get stuck in the outside line by the looks of things. Or has he managed to get in? He's still trying to find a spot and he has. Eventually, it's Davison leading just ahead of Seb Mills. Then it is George Hassart in third place, looking to try and win his way into the playoffs. The zero quality racing driver and team owner looking for a good run today. A third place could certainly not be a bad run. The young driver looking to try and get a strong result here for a small team. As we see Davison leads the race. Hassart down below the yellow line. He jumps back up the racetrack. Somehow he's held on. He'll maintain third place as he now head our way onto lap 17. 4 laps remain in this race. Davison leads Mills, leads Hassart, leads Pulio, and Marriott rounds out the top 5. He's got a spinner in the back. It's Driscoll. Driscoll goes around on the inside of the racetrack. Driscoll's chance at victory may well have just slipped away. If there is not an incident that involves two cars by the end of this lap, there will not be a yellow in this race. And got contact there. See there, Seb Mills holding onto that second place. Hassart in third place. Hassart looking to try and make something happen here. Pulio pushing him, trying to help him out here. As he gets to the outside, actually. Pulio with a huge run on the outside. There's contact. Pulio's around. Pulio goes around here. Where is he? Yeah, he's dropped down into 11th place. But we're on lap 18. 3 full laps needed to be remaining, I'm afraid, just like in the previous stage. It's Davison who leads ahead of Seb Mills. And it is the 2-0 quality racing drivers, nose to tail, looking to try and make something happen here in this race. Davison continuing to lead as they head down the back straight. There you see, look at that, Marriott potentially looking to the outside of his teammate, not going to make it happen though. As they're all single file up front, they're starting to go too wide behind them. A couple of drivers here braving it out on the outside line. Aston Lewis leads that outside group there, as then we see further back in this lead pack the two Jonathan Mills Racing drivers out the back here, rounding out the top 10 at the moment, with 2 drivers off the back entirely. 10 drivers are in this lead group, fighting for this victory. Davison looking for his 3rd win and a record-breaking 20th win in NASCAR GT. Could today be the day? Davison makes his way down the back straight now. Mills in his rear bumper looking to try and make something happen here. 2-0 quality racing drivers ready to pick up the scraps if it all goes wrong ahead of them, which is certainly not impossible. We've seen what's happened in the previous stages. It gets very racy at the end here. They make their way out of turn 4 for the penultimate time here today. Tyler Davison heading towards the start-finish line now. White flag is in the air. 1 lap remains in the Bar F1 100. It's Davison ahead of Mills, and then Hassart is in 3rd place. Tyler Davison leads as they head into turn 1 for the final time. Mills looking to try and find a way past him. Can he do it? Currently, nose to bumper, and behind him, the 2 Zero Quality Racing drivers. They're looking for an opportunity here. Will they take anything they can get? Mills still pinned into that rear bumper of Tyler Davison as they head towards turn 4. Tyler Davison continues to lead. Mills right on his rear bumper. Can anyone make anything happen here? Or are they happy to sit? Are they happy? No! Hassart will get down the inside there. Mills with drama. Several drivers caught up here. Who is going to take the victory? It's George Hassart who leads the field. George Hassart is going to win the Bra F1 100. Zero Quality Racing have won the race. George Hassart has won the race. Tyler Davison will take 2nd. And it's Nathan Marriott who will take 3rd place. Glennon in 4th. Mills in 5th. Aston Lewis in 6th. Sandover in 7th. Adam Richardson in 8th. Jono Mills in 9th. Rick Toombake in 10th. With Matt Pulio and Ben Driscoll will round out the finishers here in this race today. But it's George Hassart who comes out on top. George Hassart is a NASCAR GT race winner. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. Of course, we will have all of this unofficial. We have the all of this pending any reports to any driver. Hopefully there won't be anything that affects the result, because that would be quite the story. But here we are. Your winner, provisionally, is George Hassart. Drama here. The banks of Daytona, they don't disappoint. No matter what happens, whether it's penalties, no penalties, that was an epic finish. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you'll all tune in next week, and even later in this week. Join us on Thursday for the next round of the Project IndyCar season at 7:30 GMT. And join us next week, Monday at 7 PM GMT again, for the next round of the NASCAR GT season. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.